Okay, basics on the MandMlab. First of all, we've got data, and let's make sure you understand how this works. At time 0, all the M&Ms are up and in the cup. Okay? Now I know you don't have to actually place them all up in the cup. We'll just assume they were all up. Okay? It's because see that they have an M on one side and they don't have an M on the other side. That's why we're using the actual M&M brand, because the other ones don't have anything on them. So anyway, and besides, they're great. So if we take M&Ms and we roll them out, do you get that we probably get about half of them would have the M's up? Okay, so then after we've taken the M&Ms that are in the cup, all of them start in the cup. At time 0, there's 100 M&Ms in the cup. The ones that are up go in the cup. So let's say that there's 50 of them up. The 50 that were up get taken off the desk and put back in the cup. Okay? Now, do you get that this might be not 50? In the real world's messy. It might be more like 60. It's like, ooh, that was weird, but could happen. So what if 60 of them are up? Well, they go back in the cup. And the idea is that when you're all done, when you're done rolling these out, you keep setting aside the ones that are not up, and all of the M&Ms should not be up. Even if it takes you 12 rolls. Okay, eventually you'll get it, so all of them are gone. Okay, now, next question. People ask me, how do you get K? I'm not telling you. That's the point of the lab. That's all you have to do for the lab is figure out how do you get the K. Well, we need this formula, obviously, or we wouldn't have given you the formula. And it's got 4 variables in it. Y, Y0, the K, and the T. We know everything except the K. Just think for a second, what do you think T stands for? Time. And obviously at time 0, if we put this to 0, then K times 0 would be 0, and anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. And so at that moment, Y is equal to Y0. Well, what the heck are Y and Y0? What's Y0? It's the original number. Okay, so T is time. You might want to write these down because you're going to figure this out later at home. You're just going to get the data in class. And this is the original, but it's not just the original. It could also be interpreted in a different way. That's part of what makes this lab challenging, is you not only have to figure out K, you know, once you figure out one way to figure out K, then there's another way to figure out K. In fact, there's 3 ways to figure out K. One of them involves the table on your graphing calculator. And one of them involves solving, the other 2 involve solving it. And I'll let you figure out, I don't want to take away the mystery, that's the whole point. How do you figure out K? And if Y0 is the original, do you get at time 0 the original number equals what? What's the other thing going to be when we don't have time as the original? Like when time is not 0, when time is like 1 or 2 or 3, what's the other Y then? There's original number of, is it the number of M&Ms? It's original, yes. And that really means those are supposed to be M&Ms where the M is up, right? The M's that are up go in the cup. All right, so then these are the original number of up M&Ms. And then what's this other Y then? Well, if it's not the original one, it's the new one, or the ending one, what it resulted, the result number. So do you get that this 60 right there could be construed as the result after the first trial at time 1. Okay, so all you really have to know in the next few minutes is how to fill out this chart. So if you get 60 M&Ms that are up, you put 60 there and you put them back in the cup and then you roll them again. And now let's say that there's 28 of them end up coming up. Okay, and now the ones that are down just get pushed off to the side, and all the up M&Ms go back in the cup, and you roll them again until all your M&Ms are face down when you're all done. Okay, and no, I'm not going to tell you K. That's the point. You have to figure out what K would have to be given all these situations. And there's multiple ways to figure out the K. Somebody asked me last hour, do you mean how many different ways you could average them? No. We are going to average the Ks, yes, but there's only one way to average them. You add them all up and divide by how many there are. But is there more than one way to figure out these K numbers? Yeah, there's more than one way to figure out those K values. Okay, so without further ado, you need time to do this. So I'm going to have you come up with a group. All you have to do is get 100 M&Ms and a paper towel if you want to roll them on the desktop. And that's all I have for the description for the project.